kind of pull on the thread. Having been part of scaling businesses throughout your career, from your experience, have you ever seen a key inflection point where a problem or a key inflection point in the growth emerges?
Absolutely. Two in particular, both of which were catastrophic in their own right. Actually, maybe three when I think about it. But the first one, when I joined the company that I was with before this, we were a very early web native startup that wasn't a tech company. In 2000, or late 99, early 2000, we had developed a web-based operating platform, which was, very cutting edge at the time. And we had a cool .com name, and everything was edgy. And then the bubble burst and left us basically saying, what did we just spend a year developing? It was an inflection point that forced us to pivot backwards in our operating model, but we did have a web native platform, which was completely new. So we had to sort of adopt a very traditional staffing model, because this was in the staffing industry, a really traditional staffing model to a fully integrated back office. So we made it a catastrophic event our strength. And the other was in the same company, was in 2008. We all know what happened there. And again, we shifted the company from pure services and BPO, business process outsourcing, to tech. About 50% of the revenue got shifted to a tech model emerging from that,
Wow.
which allowed us
Yeah.
to preserve our enterprise value, even though growth had slowed dramatically. And then again, here, we had developed some technology tools, but we were not a tech forward company. We were at, what you would call tech enabled until COVID. And we lost, upward of 90% of our revenue,
Wow.
in March of 2020. And we faced death, and the only way out was to pivot to technology again. And luckily, knock on wood, we had developed enough technology to be able to shift to a product company rather than a services company, and survived, and now are kind of thriving once again. But all three of those were, they're the kind of things that you build your armor with, because they're so harrowing and they're so challenging. And the things you start to long for, the simple problems like an upset customer or a bad product release, when you're dealing with existential threat to the survival of the company.